Hey everyone, Haz here. Welcome back to another war video. This one's war number 11. Today we've got a bit of a shorter war, only 5 fights as opposed to like 6 or 7 I've been doing the last couple wars. First up here we have Wong. Now I'm bringing in Reed. I'm really happy that I got to bring him this war because I do really like using him and he just feels really safe to play. So here up first we got this Wong on path 4. So this one, it's not too difficult of a fight, but it can definitely catch some people out. There are definitely a few things to like kind of keep track of, especially with the champion you're using as well. So the first thing to keep track of is the node. Getting too many like fatigues on you, that can give him furies, and then if you get hit, that can deal a lot of damage. The second thing is Wong himself. When he reaches like his maximum eldritch energy, if you hit him with a light or medium, then it'll consume all of it and deal like a bunch of energy damage to you. But if you use a heavy when he gets to 90, like I do, like right here, you can see it'll unleash it without dealing damage. So that's kind of a good trick. But here I got caught by the Unstoppable because he has his blue spell up and I completely missed that. Luckily the other aid kind of helped me out a little bit there, which was nice. But yeah, something to definitely just kind of take note on, something that I just completely forgot about. Just don't dex to a special when he has the blue spell up because he goes unstoppable. Unstoppable passively. So yeah, that was just a small mistake, but it's fine, just a potion or two. The other thing to keep in mind with this fight is just bait special 1s ideally, because baiting special 2s, you know, the dex is fine, but sometimes if you miss it, it can do a lot of damage, so always better to do special 1s. And then yeah, Reed just cleans up, pretty good control champ. And then I guess the last thing to think about is the pre-fight that you get, or the cross fight you get on you, which means that the next time you start the fight with that champ, you'll cause the opponent to gain a burst of power and gain fury as well. So it's not huge for Reed because he has the petrify to kind of deal with the power, but it's still something to kind of keep in mind for the next fight. But here we got this Death Strike versus Captain Britain, and this is a very simple fight as well. I don't know why I'm waiting so long to throw my special 2, I should have just thrown it, but yeah, whatever, doesn't really matter. So right now, yeah, we're in Ferocity, but I didn't get the extended duration just because I had a PS1 on, so that's still fine though, doesn't really matter too much. Just dexing the specials, I really don't want to push it a special 2 if I can. On my fight plan I wrote that it wouldn't really matter, but I was kind of thinking to myself like, well, you know, I'd like to avoid block damage if possible, so baiting special 1s was the kind of the plan. But yeah, this fight went down just fine. Again, I can turn off the unblockable with the heal block. Yeah, so she's really good for this, and she's great for path 4 because she removes all heal block effects. It just disables willpower as well for like the whole fight if the heal block's indefinite. But the fact that the heal block isn't there just means that you can have 1 extra debuff on yourself without being like penalized, which is good. So yeah, she's good for that. Next up here we've got Reed vs Doom. This is Doom on path 2. So actually I wasn't nervous about this fight like at all going into it because I know Reed is like a really good Doom counter, but after seeing all the buffs that I was getting and all the Mystic Dispersion, I was like a little bit nervous. But then after I got to like my first special 2, I knew that yeah, the fight was basically over because that Petrify is 40% potency. So if you get 2 of them, that's 80%. That's 80% reduction to Mystic Dispersion. And then obviously a third one, he'll be losing power. So I knew as long as I got my second special 2 up, the fight was under control, and even up to my first special 2 I knew that you know, as long as I played relatively well, I'd be able to still, you know, come out without eating any specials to the face or anything like that. His AI was generally pretty good in this fight. I thought like he went for a lot of parries, which was good, and he threw special 1s pretty consistently, which was nice. Here we're going for our third set of debuffs. Now the one annoying thing about Reed vs Doom is that you don't really get any crits versus Doom, and so that means usually it's kind of a long fight. You can see we're already like over a minute into the fight and we still haven't even got off half his health. Well, I guess now we're about half. So yeah, we're going to go for special 3 because that gives us a huge fury depending on how many debuffs we have on the opponent, and you can see we have 9 plus the Careful Study, which counts as additional 3. Yeah, both for his passive attack increase and also for special 3 fury as well. So the special 3 does hit hard, and then over here we're going to finish him off with a few basics. So yeah, this fight ended up being pretty simple. I mean, when I first started, yeah, I was a little bit concerned about Mystic Dispersion, but Reed always handles it really well once you get your debuffs up. So it ended up going fine. Next up we got this Domino, and I was actually kind of nervous in this Domino a little bit, just because it's got EMP mod, and I was kind of thinking, like, you know, with the Daunted as well, it would make the shock damage quite high, even with the Odin pre-fight. And yeah, so I did a little bit of maths before I did it, and I found out that, like, with each cycle, I would be taking between like 100 and 200 shock damage. You know, and that would be increased by like 30% or so during specials. So maybe like 150 to 250 shock damage. But what I didn't really account for was the amount of power that Domino would be gaining from Prey on the Weak. So that includes the placebo and also Dex as well. And that's quite a lot of power. Like, you can see when Dex expires, it's like nearly half a bar. Yeah, and then yeah, placebo also adds, you know, like quarter of a bar, so it's a lot of extra power gain, and that means that, like, they're just like, it's like the shock is more frequent basically because you're baiting more specials because of the power. And even though I put an invuln on in this fight, so I could technically bait a special 3, I'd rather not. You know, I don't really want to have to think about that, so I'm just baiting special 1s and special 2s. Yeah, so I was a bit nervous like in the middle of the fight because I was like, this fight's not going very quickly. I'm taking like some chip damage from the shocks and she's getting power quite quickly, so I was a bit nervous going into it. But at the same time, like, I feel like I would still assign, you know, if I got assigned this, I would still do it with her. I think I just need to be a bit more cognizant of Prey on the Weak. Yeah, but I wouldn't change up my boosts or my strategy or anything. My strategy was good going into it. Yeah, she got lucky a lot in this fight because of the power gain, so that slowed down a lot as well. Just trying to kind of not kind of trigger the evade. Yeah, and so therefore, you know, I didn't really get my ferocity up because I wasn't hitting much, and then I would block a little bit, and, you know, special 1s weren't thrown as frequently. So yeah, it was ended up being a little bit on the slower side for Deathstrike. And also, I think this was a rank 3 Domino. She had like nearly 400,000 health, which is quite a lot for a path fight. So yeah, I mean, it's still a fine fight, it still went well, just a little bit nervous in the middle of it. But yeah, I definitely still take that again, I think. Moving on, here we got a very classic fight, one that I am very comfortable with, and I don't think I've died to this fight with Reed before, in like previous alliances and previous wars. I don't think so. The worst I've gotten is like pretty low though, from taking like multiple special 2s. So there are a couple of little things that you can do to like finesse this fight. You just gotta keep the debuffs up basically, but there are a few things that you can do to kind of help prevent any problems. The first thing is you'll see I'm doing here is you don't really dex the special 1, you just block it and you let your evade kind of deal with it, or you just take it on block, or you just kind of outrange it without triggering dex. And see I'm kind of doing that. And that means two things. It means, you know, you don't trigger Mystic Dispersion first of all, and also that means if you're blocking it, then if he's enraged you can get staggers as well, which is kind of good for willpower. But yeah, for like the main reason is just so that we can stop dex, and obviously having inequity on and having more debuffs means more evade chance, so we're still pretty tanky and we're able to block these special 1s constantly. And then here I throw a special 1 for the stagger, that way when he throws a special he won't trigger the unstoppable. Even if he had thrown it before I threw my special 1, I just get to a special 1 and then throw it, and then the unstoppable will be removed anyway, just because of Mangog's kit. But the trouble in this fight is if he goes to special 2, because you'll place a careful study and then you get 2 careful studies up because you get knocked down by the special, and then from that point you can't bait another special 1, because if you do you'll lose your careful study and then you'll probably die from the next special 2 if he throws that, because by that point your debuffs are probably falling off. So if the main kind of trick to the fight, if it goes south and he throws a special 2, is just to let him throw another special 2. It sounds insane, but you've got 75% hit damage reduction and your base 30% energy resist as well, so you don't take that much damage from it after you've got a few careful studies, and that's only happened a couple of times. Most of the time his control is enough to close it out, but yeah, you can see that one went smoothly. But yeah, I'm looking forward for the rest of the season. You know, it's only got a 1 war left, so looking forward to seeing how that goes. Yeah, thanks so much for watching guys, have a great day.